It's time.
Kablooey!
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Ooh.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Gary Meyer.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Gary Meyer Show Cocktail Hour live.
Cocktails. Woo, drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, on Friday, March 24th, 2023.
And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. In a sure sign of spring, I started to see ducklings around my Central Florida neighborhood. How are things by you? Let us know in the comments. Each spring, my neighbors over at the Walt Disney World Resort invite 100 exceptional U.S. high school students selected from thousands of applicants to the 4-day Disney Dreamers Academy to provide them with educational experiences, including interactive career workshops, motivational talks, and networking opportunities, all designed to motivate them to dream big. Disney invited me to observe and report on the program. Yesterday, drum major Mickey Mouse got things kicked off. And the program's celebrity ambassador, actress Halle Bailey, who plays Ariel in the upcoming live-action remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid, shared with me these thoughts for young people who dream of a performing career.
Keep going. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let the negativity or no's get to you. There's going to be a lot of no's, but you have to keep your head up and sacrifice for what you want, and you are passionate, you are driven, you can do it.
Check out Mouse Planet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to see what I've reported on so far, and visit mouseplanet.com for weekly news about Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and a whole lot more.
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
And we may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
Now fasten your seatbelts, it's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live.
Come on. Leslie, I'm putting the good karma out there.
Can't we all just get along?
Here we go. Boom. Shakalaka.
All right, welcome one and all to the GarrForce. We're going to have some cocktails and things, and I'm glad you're here. And we have to do a few things before everything gets started. I will kick those tires and light them up. Boom, there it goes. And then Leslie has to remove the condom to make it official as the cocktail show. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. I got another delicious Ferrari Carano, so I must be doing something right. Woo-hoo. And it looks like we have us some buildup here. So
I hope so. And 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I hit the cat.
Well,
baby.
they got to get some goggles. Yeah, because they're in the line of fire every week. And one of these times, ow. Oh, no. Right out of the chute is a chute into the cat.
Sorry, honey.
That's right. Which cat is that?
That's Tula.
Okay.
She's
okay?
Torty. Yeah, she's fine.
All right.
Her tail's back up. She's happy.
All right. And that will be given away, not that one, that wine condom in a sealed wrapper will be given away at the end of the program with other stuff. And boy, you got a crap load of stuff in, and somebody's going to get quite the package this week. And we will have a phrase that pays to tell you a little later, and then we'll have you put it in the queue. Alan will hit the button, and somebody randomly will get all that. Now, if you've won recently, please let somebody else win if you can. Let me start saying hello to a bunch of people that have checked in, and that always starts with, guess who?
Keelian.
Yeah. March Madness, my Schnauzer helped me pick my brackets. Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Fun. the Final Four is going to kill us. I happened to see, and I'm not a fanatic about these basketball games, but I happened to see the Gonzaga UCLA game, the last 2 minutes, which takes a half hour. Now,
Right.
this is why I watched it at the end. For the opening of the premium show yesterday, we taped that on Wednesday. At the end, I said, I'm so glad, and I just pulled this out of my keister. I'm so glad that Gonzaga is in the Sweet 8, 16, 21, whatever it is. And I knew they were still in it. And I just thought, well, there are 16 teams at that point still in it. I'll just pick that one. They were losing halfway through by a good number of points. And then it was one of those things where it's almost as if it's written for a movie because it all came down to the last few seconds.
It was like Hoosiers, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And they remembered that the basket was the same height here at the Sweet 16 as if they were playing in their own little gym. Oh, golly.
So and there was some other vortexy stuff going on, and I'm like, oh, I gotta issue a warning.
You did. He does throughout the day. I occasionally will get a vortex warning, and it does make you stop and take a moment
to look around. It's in the air. All right, David R. checked in early, and he's in Virginia this week. The Schnauzers here look just like the ones in Chicago, y'all. Back to Oklahoma, Illinois soon. All right, he's traveling, keeping an eye on the Schnauzers around the country. Chuck from WRLR, and he received his roast to order coffee.
Yay.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you, Chuck, for supporting the fine sponsors. Mike Maskow, the proprietor, is in the queue. Do you see that? Weatherman says my Schnauzer will get a slushy 7 inches. Should I call PETA or the police? Mike, you decide. From what I'm hearing after Alan said, what's the weather like where you're at? I haven't seen anybody check in and say, boy, it's terrific. And I'm hearing from Arizona, crap. And somebody said that Michigan is down to the final 2 inches of snow. So that's a good sign on the ground.
I think here in the Chicago area, we're supposed to be getting a little snow over the next 24 to 48 hours. So,
Leslie, the two seasons are fighting each other now. That's what they're going to do for a while. Winter doesn't want to leave. Spring is here. Spring wants in. Winter's going F you. And boom, boom, boom. But there are buds. There are buds on the trees. Flowers are coming up, and then snow. So
this could go all the way through April, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know how this goes in the northern states, and even out west. As I said, Arizona and California has been getting clobbered by different things. Okay, this person checked in early too. Oral Ollie, and I don't know if I understand this message. What does that mean?
Liked and shared you, our host. I maybe our host.
Yeah, I think that might be a typo.
But thank you, like and share.
That's fine.
We want you to do that all you can, please.
Greg checked in. Hello, Greg. Hey, Greg from. Did we lock in if it's Dacula or Dacula?
Dacula.
Getting over COVID and ready to partay. By the way, it's 78 degrees there. Okay, well,
there you go.
Hopeful. I've heard of a lot of people getting COVID recently. Have you heard this?
No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Okay. And I just tested positive for negativity.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah.
You had the symptoms.
I do. And boy, I'll tell you what, before I go on with the list and pick up the screen door, yesterday I caught a little news. My head really, I don't know how people absorb this news on a regular basis, because after a few minutes I thought, I can't take this. This is madness.
Was it David Muir?
This is all, well, that's my man with the broken collarbone and the head that won't turn straight. And he's given us all the craziness of Ukraine, buildings blowing up, people dying, and then the weather, it's going to kill us. And I'm like, okay. So I went to the thing that is the perfect cleanse. And there are a few things that I think are real good cleanses, TV-wise. I don't really do this often. I went to not Family Feud. That's a good one. Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, my.
I went to Wheel of Fortune. And now I'm watching this, Leslie. and thinking,
Yeah.
I understand why this is a popular show in these nursing homes, because these people are a few minutes away from death, and this show will make you feel good no matter what your situation. It's so hypnotic.
And it's colorful
Yeah,
and
and
predictable.
you're trying to guess the clues and all this, and it's like, okay, what's not to like? I just went from bombings in Ukraine to this, and I thought I went down the rabbit hole, and it's all psychedelic and bright and beautiful. And then I had this thought: if a genie comes out of a bottle and says to you, "Would you rather have Brad Pitt's career or Pat Sajak's?" I'd rather
Ooh.
have Pat Sajak's, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He drives to the same place every day, doesn't have to get on a plane, doesn't have to wait in a trailer to make movies and all that, does the taping, tapes a month's worth of shows in a couple days. And then last night, they were talking about how they've been to Hawaii with the show 150 times. They're
Yeah.
showing him on jet skis, and he gets paid for this a good amount of money. Who
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
want this job?
Okay. And here's the thing. He is so in the catbird seat that he has now given his daughter a role on the show.
Right.
So, I mean, and the nepotism is alive and well. So he, in addition to being set himself for what, 40 years now, he's handing it off to his
Yes.
kid.
Yes.
It's so
I mean,
brilliant.
yes, it is. And going back to the mechanics of doing that as opposed to being a movie star like Brad Pitt does a movie, it comes out, say it doesn't do well, and then he takes all that crap. Wheel of Fortune is it's gold. It's never going to wane. It's going to be this ratings juggernaut until the day they pull the plug, which will be never, because it's such a cash cow. Now, Family Feud, that's another one that you want to get. If you are offered that, take that job too. But Wheel of Fortune is so hypnotic.
Oh, yeah. There they
Yeah.
are.
Does that look like hard work?
And Vanna.
I
mean,
liked that Pat showed up in flip flops when we met him 4 or 5 years ago, whenever this was.
And yeah, they go down to Disney World, do the show there. They go to all these nice places. And whew,
did you know Vanna's got comfortable shoes on? I bet you at the end of the taping, her dog's got a heart
oh yeah,
with all
you
those
walk
stiletto and
back
back
and
and
forth, back and forth. All right, let me grab the screen door, because that's part of. Is this no?
in the same
No.
way we can't pronounce Dacula or Dacula
Right.
here.
Yeah. One day I'll get this right out of the chute.
I
Patty.
think we need to send Gary a this side up sticker for
Yeah,
the
pretty
door.
much. Another sticker, Alan, should not be used as a flotation device.
There you go.
Phyllis, how are you? Good. Greg, Patty, I appreciate you. Tim, Sal, can you imagine if they try to replace Pat and Vanna? Talk about a nursing home revolt. Yes. And why would they ever give those jobs up? What really? You do that until you die.
So will Vanna be pushing a walker back and forth and touching those? Or maybe at some point she'll be able to just light them up psychically.
Something.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
In the early days, she had to actually turn the cube.
Right.
And then it went electronic. She just touches the screen. That's it. And then I think
she's
Scott
essentially Sigourney Weaver's character from Galaxy Quest.
I don't
the
remember
computer says something, and all she has to do is repeat what the computer says. That's her job.
Okay, I don't know that show, but
I don't remember exactly the numbers that they told us, but they cut down when they went to those touch buttons. They cut down on filming an episode from over an hour and a half down to real time. It saved Pat and Vanna a whole lot of time.
Which is good, because when you're working 6 days a month, you want to get that down to 3 or 4.
Sure.
Jolinda's in Naples, Florida. I saw, or is it Italy? It could be either. Could be either. And all right, so I covered everybody on the screen there. I got a bunch of people I wrote down: Mac and Johnny and Steven from Palos Heights, Illinois. Stick Save from Tinley Park, Illinois, home of Bettenhausen Automotive. Doggy Boy checked in. Matt,
Doggy Boy wants to know who the woman is at the beginning of the show. Is this somebody that we'll get to meet at some point, Alan?
It is a friend of mine who is an actress, and I'm not sure that she wants her identity revealed for the show.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oh.
She was willing.
Oh.
She was willing to record though, so that was good enough.
Okay. She doesn't want to be associated with the likes of us.
That could very well be
Yeah.
another way of saying it.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I don't want to have anything to do with that Gary Miller. I've heard about him.
By the way, people were asking about the #1 bachelor of Wisconsin. He did put out a video recently where he is singing a song in the kitchen, and he's got a beer in one hand, a bottle of something else in the other. He's smoking a cigarette, so that might kind of limit his chances of finding the girl of his dreams. But here's the other thing. Sink behind him, flipping the cigarette into the sink. It's like, oh, dude.
Yeah, and that was
what
the
are
deal.
you doing?
Right, that would be the deal breaker for me above everything else that we've seen about this guy. Yeah. Okay, what's that, Alan?
Just commentary.
Just a random animal shot. That actually is an animal, Alan told us, that is down the street from where he lives. Alan goes for a walk, and it's a whole zoological experience.
Yeah, unfortunately, that plot where this donkey is, and the donkeys are hanging out with cattle. This lot's for sale. So if you're looking to build some homes or looking for a future home, somebody is going to be putting up something right over there. This guy's going to be out of a home. And I said, my longer term Floridian friends tell me these guys are good tax breaks, right? If you got cattle and these guys on your property, you get a big property tax break.
No, okay, I'll keep that in mind.
By the way, too, Alan now taking pictures of the ducks in his neighborhood. Over the coming weeks, will we watch as some of those ducklings become gator food?
I would have to think so. I mean, there were 10 of them there today, which is a very, very large group. And one of the neighbors has this good sense of humor. This is actually facing one of the ponds in the neighborhood.
Why is that a sense of humor? That's true.
Sure, but the plastic gator is not a risk.
Catches your eye more than the sign. Okay. All right. So you were talking at the beginning there, Alan, about what you did at Disney World this past week. You talked to the woman who's starring in the Little Mermaid. She's the Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Halle Bailey is her name.
And
not to be confused with Halle Berry, which I had done some time ago and others had done. Her name is Halle Bailey.
And you did some props to some of the hoity polloi at Disney World. If you don't have a platinum or whatever the highest card is to get in there, my God, I don't think I've seen anybody do better PR than you for that park.
Well, let's make sure you put in that hashtag DDA Disney, which is what they've been asking us to promote for this event, the Disney Dreamers Academy, which I stood in the sun for a couple hours yesterday.
Look at that sky. Haven't seen a sky
there
that
wasn't,
blue in
There
a while.
was not a cloud. I mean, of course, we're standing there waiting for the parade for 45 minutes in a media section, which is why we have this night shot. And there wasn't a cloud to be had.
So you're complaining or happy?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both.
So you can't win.
No.
You can't, not a cloud in the sky. And that sun was just beating
it's
down.
just so warm.
Okay.
Alan's going to actually play Sebastian in Little Mermaid too. This is what he's working toward. He's got all the hashtags. He's got all the.
I already had red cheeks before I moved down here, and now they're very red.
Yes.
Yes.
Heath Ledger as Joker, Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. You pick. I'm doing A or B. A or B. Brad Pitt, Pat Sajak. Both very good.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Think. Well,
although I love the
dark,
hell out
but
of Joker.
not as dark as Joaquin.
There's a sequel to Joker that's being made right now, and I think Lady Gaga Squared is in it. And
Joaquin Phoenix is hoping he gets to host Wheel of Fortune at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Joker hosting Wheel? Are you kidding me?
Finger guns.
Would you like to buy a Val Murray? Oh, I like that combo. I'd like to see
Before
that.
and after.
Yeah. So let's have some fun with pictures. I sent Ryan, the Wisconsin reporter, some pictures. Ryan, how are you? Before we get to your Wisconsin report, we'll do that a little later. Let's put the one up of the building going up, and I'll talk about that.
Let me get there. There it is.
Just a
All right,
second.
well, I'm gonna rearrange you guys on the screen and try out this new setup. Folks, let us know in the comments what you think, because StreamYard's giving me some new toys here. So I'm gonna move Ryan. I'm gonna move Ryan and Gary between the boxes, and now we're gonna put Ryan's thingy on the screen, and we're gonna go like
there
that.
You go.
Are you gonna
there
put,
we are.
Are you gonna put the building on the screen or Ryan's thingy?
Thingy.
Okay. Let's pick here. Okay, I saw this on Facebook, and it gave me a warm fuzzy because this is the John Hancock building in Chicago going up. I believe it's 1967. That was the first big boy in Chicago and one of the biggest in the country at that time, and it's been dwarfed many times since. But why I get a fuzzy is because I lived in that building and worked in that building, so it has a lot of history for me. And I tried to count as best I could what floor they were on, because I lived on the right. I lived on the 50th floor. I don't think they're at the 50th floor there yet. I lived on the 50th. The radio station was on the 37th floor, if you remember that. Leslie, you worked there.
I did.
Yeah, and I just like seeing these iconic structures being built. I'm fascinated by that whole process, and there that one is. And I still think out of all the buildings around the world, this one, for some reason, I still like its character, that black, tall crown of lights at the top and the crossbars.
The simple crossbars. I got to work on the 94th floor for several years, and it was a treat on a windy day because that sucker would sway. It was quite an exciting experience.
Right. I'd be in my apartment on a windy day, and you'd see the toilet water kind of sloshing, and the building would creak.
It would definitely.
Okay. Here's a story. So the radio station on the 37th floor, my apartment on the 50th. So I take the freight elevator to work, and one day I get off of work.
What a commute!
Take the freight elevator, and you transfer on the 44th floor. That's where the pool is. And then you transfer to the apartment elevators, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get off the elevator there at the 44th, and I see all these big cables and a bunch of people running around. And I find out they're filming one of those poltergeist movies there. And I don't like those movies, but I understand in that movie, the Hancock building blows up. And the girl,
some bad stuff happens at the pool. And
the young girl that was in that movie, something bad happened to her. I think she died, right?
She died.
Yeah,
I think either during the filming or near the end of the filming. Yeah, she caught the flu or something, and died.
They had all kinds of stuff. I think there were 3 poltergeist movies, and didn't they have all kinds of bad juju surrounding that?
Well, the older sister
franchise
ended up being murdered.
Murdered.
There was all sorts of bad juju.
Was the Hancock building where you got the note under the door, Gary?
No, that was a different apartment where, I go to the door of my condo and I see this envelope, and it's got flowers and stuff like old ladies use that stationery still. And it's got my name scrawled on it. And I open it, and the note says, "Hey, quit broadcasting into my apartment." And I thought, what the hell is this? And there was a name, so I traced it back to where I was talking to this woman in the lobby one day. She was a fan, and we were talking, and her mother was standing next to her. And apparently that's where she got the vibe that I was broadcasting throughout the building, and just randomly wrote this note and stuck it under my door. And I'm thinking, okay, really? Go watch Wheel of Fortune. You'll feel much better.
You should have just sent her a note under her door with a question mark.
Yeah, exactly. Cuckoo.
You could have been pen pals for years.
Programming note, before I forget, there will be no cocktail show next Friday. A rare day off for the GarrForce staff. No show next Friday. All right. So drink up for this one.
Can we ask what your Band-Aids are today?
Got the both Tasmanian Devils, and then this is a Crayola one, the red one I found in the box.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of bad juju, Ryan sends me the story about the what is I almost blocked their name out at this point.
Murdaugh.
The
Murdaugh
Murdaughs.
family, they're auctioning off some of their personal belongings.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have some of the stuff they're auctioning?
I just have a picture, kind of the stock photo from the thing. You can see their leather couch, and there's some tortoise lamps that they were included. And I looked up, and they said there was a long line of people interested in.
You're kidding.
Getting their hands on this stuff.
Why would you want to own this family stuff? The whole family is a mess or dead.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, the only people who should be bidding on that furniture, well, I know one should be bidding on that furniture, and that's Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques and
Oh, here we go.
Collectibles. Because I think one of those chairs would look lovely with a coffee table nearby and the baby pony in the formaldehyde sitting on that coffee
and
table.
what
Wouldn't that
about
be
a
lovely?
shrunken head?
There you
Where's your
Ooh.
shrunken head?
He's right here.
Yeah.
Hang on.
As she got this from
I'm
Scott.
sorry, Scott. I appreciate him, but sometimes I know his eyes are sewn shut, but I get the feeling he's looking at me. And the hair is so soft and really.
Yeah. Okay. Now somebody, Ona's
See,
Tarot.
Tula doesn't mind him, so I know that his juju is okay.
Wow,
She
look at
likes
that.
him.
That cat
Oh.
is warm right up.
Yeah, she's fine.
Haunted furniture is
So-
a thing. Seriously? Why? But this is more than haunted. This just has all
morbid.
kinds of bad vibes around it.
I don't know.
I don't know. So if you're interested, get your bids in. You get some tortoise lamps and a new leather couch.
Great. And you said there's a line.
Yeah, there was a line. Yeah, they said there was lots of interest in this.
We have lost it as a civilization, but I've been saying that for a while, and it just keeps adding up every day. Really, that's what we have to drink every Friday just to get above it all. All right. And what's
I
that?
have the coffee. Speaking of drinks,
Oh,
you sent me-
we
yes.
might as well do a little homage to Roast to Order. Here you go. There's the cup you need to get through the day of Roast to Order. Huh? Coffee is a hot tub. Yeah.
Is that a bold blend there? I think it should be a bold.
It looked pretty
Bold.
dark.
Yeah. All right. So Roast to Order. Alan, if you want to put up the graphics, there is what we drink here on the GarrForce. And Alan, you're a coffee drinker, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not either. What tea?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Yeah, we got a couple oddities here. We got Ryan, who doesn't drink coffee or tea.
No.
He starts his day with orange juice. Okay, but your mother is a huge Roast to Order
Yes.
fan.
Yes.
Yeah. Does your wife drink coffee?
No, not really.
Really?
No.
That's unusual for a family to
What
have
is
two
wrong
non-coffee drinkers.
I mean,
likes-
like,
Oh, no, wait a minute. Hank, his son Hank drinks coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh, that's
got to
right,
get
Yeah.
starting him young.
Yeah. Or is he having
he likes the pods. Yeah.
highballs down at the bowling alley?
At the bowling alley with mom.
Yeah. They're on a bowling alley circuit up in
I know.
Waukesha.
And
according
Dad's
to
not
Ryan.
invited.
Yeah, and you not making the cut, are you?
No, I'm not. If I'd like to schedule a family bowling day, let them know and we'll find another day.
All right. So those of us who like coffee, we found the best coffee with Roast to Order. And Mike will ship anywhere in the continental United States. If you'd like to send that as a gift, he's got bundles of coffee. He's got the coffee candle and the bold flavors that he's added. If you like bold, he's got bold.
Yep.
You want bold? He's got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And maybe Mike should get the gigantic cup. And
That's
if you want to just immerse yourself in it.
Tracy is suggesting that we Photoshop his logo onto that cup. And, sometimes those things have a way of popping up on future shows. Once again, no show next weekend, though.
Wasn't there a story about someone took a bath in champagne? So it's kind of the same idea.
Okay, good memory. One day on the program, we had, who was he? Okay, here we go. I'm trying to think of his name.
The one who took the bath was Natalie Wood.
It was Natalie Wood, and James Dean and the guy from Easy Rider, not Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper.
Dennis. Okay.
All right. Whew. Hopefully that gap will get.
We had one of those moments this week where it was like every freaking name. We're like, well, remember when we met?
Right, and then you start going,
I couldn't come up with Barry Manilow.
Right, if the gaps go long, then you start wondering, should I get a checkup? Dennis Hopper said that when he and Natalie Wood and James Dean first got to Hollywood or New York, they all got somewhere where they got their first job. So they decided to celebrate by taking a champagne bath. And I guess Natalie got in the bathtub first and her vajayjay got stung.
Let's just say the schnauzer was stinging.
The schnauzer was a stinging. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. Natalie.
There's a warning. Milk bath, yes. Champagne bath, no.
No.
Hey, speaking of things that hold liquid, I know, Ryan, you got one in the mail too.
I did.
And
Thank you,
Bryson
Brian.
got a bunch of stuff that she's going to give away from the band Oh Yes that were on the program last week. And thank you, Oh Yes, for sending this. Now, I get the box from Brian, and I open this, and oh my God, they sent me a Ring camera.
Mine was a massager. Mine was a personal massager.
Right, and I open. Oh, and I'm happy to get the glass. It's just funny that it was in this. I'm like, oh, but that's a sturdy box. That's why you do that.
Classic story in my family. My mother gets a gift from my sister at Christmas. She opens up undoes the wrapping, and it's a popcorn popper. And my mother goes, I don't need a popcorn popper. Let's take it back to Walmart. The next day I'm talking to my sister. She said, did Mom appreciate the photo? And I'm like, the what? It was a framed family photo that she had sent my mother in the popcorn popper box. We had to go to Walmart and go through the shelves and find the one that didn't sound the same. And there was our family photo. They had just put it right back on the stock. So, yeah.
You had a family photo that was in the box.
A popcorn popper box. And we took it back to Walmart, and they gave us money for it. It was like, $18 for the popcorn popper.
And then you realized there was a photo of the family in the box.
That's all that was. There was no popcorn popper in there at all.
And they just put it back on the shelf. They didn't even check.
Yep, didn't even check.
Okay, so imagine the next person, before you get there and discover this, then they think it was kind of light.
Well, it had heft. I mean, it was a framed family photo and a beautiful frame and the glass and everything. And my sister had padded it nicely so that it wouldn't break in transit. And there you go. One of these boxes was not like the other. And we ended up having to buy it back because, I mean, they'd already given us the refund money on the popcorn popper. Yeah, it was.
Why? Wait a minute. Why don't you just take it to the counter and say, "Hey, we thought we were bringing back the popcorn popper. Here it is. Now, can we have our photo back?"
This was the next day. It was already back on the shelf.
I know,
they had
but
given us the refund.
Okay, but where was the popcorn popper?
There was no popcorn. It was just a popcorn
Your
popper
sister
box
had it. It was
from
your
Walmart.
sister's popcorn
It was
popper.
hers. Yeah, she had it home. Like, where's the Ring doorbell camera here?
Okay.
It's at Brian's house.
Okay. Wow.
And speaking of liquid, you said you had that picture I think you saw from the supermarket, Liquid Death.
Yeah, I'm in Whole Foods the other day, and I'm walking down the aisle, and I see this, and I go, why would you name a product this? This is a legitimate product. This is not, oh, it was on the internet, somebody did this up, and it's all fake. I took this picture.
Is this
and it's
from
expensive. It's expensive, too. I saw it at Walmart a couple weeks ago. Took a picture of it as well. Good packaging. Didn't buy it.
Right, but what's the angle here?
You didn't look carefully enough because it's bottled in East Palestine, Ohio, it turns out.
Yeah, okay. That's what it is. All right.
Ooh.
And then later, I'm going through a Macy's and I posted this on my Facebook page, this Whitney Houston makeup. And she's been dead how many years? And why would you want to have Whitney Houston makeup from a dead woman?
Is that what The Undertaker used? I mean...
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. Why would you want anything associated with her like that? Because that reminds me of her in the casket, and this must be the makeup they used to put her in the casket with.
What
am I missing? Am I missing something? Am I losing? Is this all in front of me because people are trying to screw with me?
On the other hand, people eat Jimmy Dean sausage, and he's been gone a long time, and you don't think, maybe there's some Jimmy Dean in there.
I guess it's just because it's makeup and her. I mean, death, and then I saw Liquid Death, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's happening?
Vortex,
Vortex,
yeah. What else did I send you, Ryan?
I got Betty White. That kind of.
Oh yeah, here. This is my new check scene.
That's nice.
Yeah, hey, Betty. There it is. That's all you got to do.
She was a saucy minx.
I love her. Loved her.
And did a lot for animals, right? She was the big advocate for animals.
David Plyer, my dear friend, says my 11-year-old loves Liquid Death because it makes him feel badass. Is it an energy drink?
Oh.
It's water, right?
No, it says pure.
Yeah.
There were several different flavors. There were several flavors at my store, but they weren't like energy loaded or caffeinated or anything like that.
So this is a thing with a younger demo of, it's really macabre and weird, and that's why we like it.
And where's
and
it?
then you get one of those gum cigars, and you feel like a real badass.
It's bottled in Ohio.
She was kidding. She was referencing the train derailment, and they took. You had a good joke too when I sent that picture to you. Said, "Oh, they're bottling the Camp Lejeune water."
I did. That's what I said.
There you go.
And that's funny. That's funny. Okay.
I got one more of yours.
35 freaking years before they realized.
35 years. The water is coming through some chemical pipe. 35 years. Nobody notices. And did you send me this originally?
No, I did not.
Okay. Is this a real thing? Big Daddy's Meat Wagon? That's a real place?
Maybe like Ponderosa back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that, if it's real or one of those fake internet things, but I thought that's a great name.
And I have one more. This was at a stop. This was at a stoplight, and he was a little slow off the line, so people were honking at him. And I don't.
Oh,
kind of an interesting.
Oh my God!
Put that on your truck.
Jesus. And
imagine your dad having that on his truck and picking you up from school. That's
in car line.
Exactly. And Ryan texted me. He was at a gas station.
I was.
And you are the king of being in the receipt of weird comments, random comments from people that you don't know.
And this gas station always says, see you next time. Looking forward to seeing you again. So I was checking out and she said, white men are falling out of favor. And I kind of looked at her. She said, you got to be really careful these days. Oh, yeah. By the way, have a good day. See you next time. Huh?
Okay.
All right. Huh? Thanks for stopping. And then Ryan went to that store where they have the sliced meat all over the floor and stuff.
Yeah, no, I did. I didn't. I ended up going to a different grocery store. I didn't end up going there. I thought I had enough bizarre stuff this week. I couldn't take the store.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Talk about the creme de la creme of your bizarre stuff.
I'll give a highlight. I won't go into too detail, but we were woke up at 5:30 in the morning with the SWAT team and a search warrant on a house in the neighborhood. Flash bang, knocked the door down. The neighbor texted my wife and said she thought someone had shot through her house because the flashbang reverb or the vibration knocked stuff off her shelf at another house. So that was fun at 5:30 in the morning, kids.
Great. You just don't know your neighbors, do you?
You don't. And then Hank looks out the door and sees the SWAT truck and it's white. And he said, I think they pulled over the ice cream truck. And I said, that's exactly what happened. They did. But everybody's okay.
I love that. His kid mind just goes right to, it's got to be okay. It's an ice cream truck. Huh?
Yeah. So I couldn't take any more of crazy. That was Thursday. And that was kind of like, I'm done.
This is what I mean. What the hell is going on? I have to go to Wheel of Fortune and Family Feud and Leave It to Beaver. Otherwise, I'm going to curl up in a ball.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's strange. It's real strange. I'm
Okay.
hoping spring's going to clear some of this out, but
yeah, right.
So just how kind of off kilter things are. I was heading out of downtown Chicago today, coming off of Lower Wacker Drive. For those who are acquainted with the area, this is a major thoroughfare coming off Lower Wacker Drive onto westbound I-290, which is a major expressway in Chicago. The sign overhead, which usually tells you to put on your seatbelt or how many accidents there were, there have been so far this year, read, "Ain't nobody got time for no wrecks." Ain't nobody.
Wow.
They're going very
Chicago.
Now. Ain't got time for no wrecks.
Ain't nobody got time for a wreck. Or is that
okay.
Really? You could,
wow.
Go back to the put on your seatbelt sign, would you?
Yeah. I like when a big city like Chicago has a moment where you go, oh, I guess I'm in Mayberry. And that moment for me is every spring when I be driving down Lakeshore Drive, which is, as it's named, along the lake. And they have smelt fishermen right there to catch these silver turds that they claim are tasty. And you see the John Hancock building and all these beautiful buildings. And then you look to your right, and there are and there's Opie and Barney and Ernest T. Bass fishing for smelt.
By the way, they're setting up for festival season. And this is another thing Gary used to love when he was spending every day in downtown Chicago, was when they would take the biggest part of the park there. This is Grand Park. It's Chicago's backyard, they like to call it. And it is filled with porta-johns and fencing, because they are getting ready to no longer make it Chicago's backyard. It's going to be Lollapalooza,
right.
NASCAR, and the rest of you.
Right, coming in this summer. And this is a public park. You pay for it as a taxpayer, and it's only available about 4 days out of the summer. And everything's for rent. Everything's for rent now because they need the money. It's like a banquet hall. The whole city's like a banquet hall. Yeah, we'll rent you that. Sure, no problem. Okay. Where are we in the program? Are we ready to pay homage to the fine sponsors? We got a couple left here, and that would be David Hochberg and Team Hochberg, your mortgage experts. And this is a very crazy ass time. Well, saying that almost doesn't stick out anymore. It's been crazy for years. But if you've been paying any attention to the housing market, apparently housing prices are down and mortgages, the rates are coming down because the banks, after this whole meltdown a few weeks ago, they're worried about you trusting the banks. So they're bringing their rates down to encourage you to come back. So this, out of all of that goo, might be a good time if you're thinking of buying a house. And this guy would know, because he's seen all this many times. And if he got you through 2008, which he said was the absolute worst meltdown ever, he can get you through this. Call that number for a free consultation. Free. That's free. You're not going to pay anything for that. You got nothing to lose. And see where you stand in all this, because every day, all right. And Bettenhausen Automotive. Yes.
I love my car.
You say you change up the order, Gary. I gotta go find these things. Here we go.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
This beauty is a beast. It's Ram Truck Month going on now at Bettenhausen Ram in Tinley Park. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new Bettenhausen Ram 1500 Bighorn plus $2,000 bonus cash. Right now, Bettenhausen has a huge selection of Ram trucks to choose from. Get to Bettenhausen and make Ram Truck Month your month to be beauty and beast. Lease a new 2023 Ram 1500 for $459 per month. Your best Ram truck buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
I was talking to somebody, Yellowstone. All the people in Yellowstone drive a Ram truck, and Chris Stapleton does Ram commercials. And Chris Stapleton reminds me of this band that I loved in the 70s, the Marshall Tucker Band. And I got into a discussion with a friend of mine the other day because the last surviving member of Leonard Skinner just died. And he said, yeah, many years ago, I went to see the Marshall Tucker Band and Leonard Skinner opened up for them. And I'm thinking, boy, that's a bill right there. If you knew the Marshall Tucker Band, that's what I don't know if you know the Marshall Tucker Band. You're too young, Leslie, but Chris Stapleton reminds me of their sound.
And he's got a little ZZ Top look going there, but good golly, the first time I went to see him, I really went in there tabula rasa. I didn't know much about him at all. He had Sheryl Crow as his opening act. I thought Sheryl Crow was the main act. And they're like, oh, hell no, it's Chris Stapleton. And I'm okay, I guess this guy took the stage and he owned this arena. Yeah. I mean, that voice is just so intense and he's so low key. And if you get a chance to see him, I mean, people were gushing about his Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl this year with good reason. If you see him live, it's just, it'll blow you away.
Yeah. All right. We are ready, I think, on that note, for some Wisconsin stuff. And Ryan, how was your week overall? I know
it was okay.
Talked about some particulars, but now you're going to get into the meat of Wisconsin with
right,
this, right?
And there'll be a couple tie-ins to what we talked about, Wheel of Fortune and a coffee sponsor. So it'll be good.
Okay, here we go with the Wisconsin report. It's Wisconsin, hey.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Wisconsin. I hope everybody had a good week and was able to navigate through any goo that might have popped up. Now it's time to have some fun. And oh, by the way, I do have some stories from Wisconsin. Here at the GarrForce, we talk about Wheel of Fortune and kind of the game shows in general. Well, there was a man from Oregon, Wisconsin who recently appeared on Wheel of Fortune. He had been trying to get on for 2 years and finally was selected. He ended up doing pretty well and winning $13,400. He also said the other things that were fun was Pat and Vanna were truly authentic and very nice people, and the taping process was like a whirlwind. Some other facts that were pointed out in the article was the show started in 1983, has awarded $250 million in cash and prizes so far, and about 10,000 people apply every year, and only 585 are selected. So it's a pretty narrow market to get selected for Wheel of Fortune. And they boast 26 million views per day on the show, which is more than most primetime shows. So keep tuning into Wheel of Fortune. You might find some other people you recognize. Switching gears a little bit, we often talked about our great sponsor, Roast to Order, and the great coffee that we enjoy from them. Well, in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, there's an ATM for espresso. It's called Octane Coffee. It's a complete drive-through that's run by robots. No human interaction. So maybe we need to call them up and say, get some Roast to Order in there. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.
You see in the comment section, Cindy, my niece won the whole deal on Wheel of Fortune in December, $70,000 worth of stuff. $13,000, that's nice, but yeah, they get some real big winners out of there. And I like that stat you gave. What is it? 10,000 people apply every season?
Yes, and 500.
I heard for Shark Tank, 35,000 to 40,000 a season try to get on the show. Can you imagine?
Amazing.
And this guy tried for 2 years, and he was surprised when he got the call. After 2 years, it's like, oh boy, I'm never going to get there. And then he gets the call, come out to California.
So I'm watching an old Shark Tank last night, and the guy that came on with Scrub Daddy, they showed that, and he was asking $100,000 for 10% of the company. Mr. Wonderful wanted 30 or something, and he got pushed aside. And then Lori said, I'll give you $200,000 for 20%. This product and the offshoots, that was 8-9 years ago, almost $700 million in sales. I think it's the most successful product on Shark Tank. Wow. Imagine what she's made.
And yet we learned that after his appearance, they took him off stage and they took him to a shrink first and foremost.
They take all contestants into a trailer to make sure they're okay, because if you don't get a deal and you put everything in this, and that means everything, you've sold your house or whatever, and you don't get something, they need to have that safety net. So that's a smart thing to do.
There you go.
And the guy I had on, who has that cousin's Maine lobster, and he and his cousin only wanted $50,000 for 5%, I believe. And all the other sharks except Barbara, 3 of them were really brutal against these guys because they'd only been in business about a month with one truck.
With a truck, yeah.
Yeah, they only had the truck, and it's $50,000. I would imagine Mark Cuban has that as walking around money. But Barbara said, okay, I'll do it. I guess her lucky number is 17, so she wanted 17%, and then I think they agreed to 15. The company has now done $50 million in business.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really.
But again, hindsight, you see it. Some of these things, I'm sure, fail. And they've alluded to that on the show where they go, I invested in something similar and it was a complete turkey.
Speaking of windfalls, Gary, we should probably set up the
all right.
The giveaway, because we got quite a windfall this week. Thanks to first our friend Tracy from Wisconsin. She sent a schnauzer, so I'm keeping this one for myself for a while. Isn't that the cutest little schnauzer?
Well, if you kiss your schnauzer, I will have mine kiss.
You're kissing schnauzer?
Kissing schnauzers.
But she also gave us stuff to give away. So we now have a stock of bendables with googly eyes that we will be sharing with you guys.
So the thing about those is you just twist them and they're kind of a stress
They are
deal.
what they say they are. They are bendable and their little arms bend. And there's some on the GarrForce poster behind me. So we are now the home of the bendables. She also sent us slime-filled eggs, which we will be sharing with you in time for Easter. So they look fabulous. I didn't open it up because it's wrapped in plastic real nice, and I want you to have the experience. But then our friends from Oh Yes, thank you so much to the band for appearing with us last week. Once again, we're going to have them back on, and we're going to clean up the sound, and it's going to be awesome. But we have an Oh Yes t-shirt to give away. And in addition, let's tease this properly. In addition to our regular giveaways, which include the ball liquor, right? I'm going to give you a magic fish. And that's from Chris, from Scott Christoffel. I think I pronounced that correctly. Christoffel, from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles. And of course, we've got the wine condom, but the pièce de résistance.
Here's the reveal.
Literally. I mean, we got us an Oh Yes thong to give away today. Is that not the coolest?
All of that is going into the package. All of that you just showed.
I mean, seriously, how many other podcasts are giving away this much swag?
No. Joe Rogan? No.
Russell Brand doesn't give it away. No.
What's her name from Kathy Lee and Ryan?
Kathy Lee?
Kelly Lee. What's her name?
Oh, that's right. Kelly. We found out that Kelly Ripa this week started her own podcast because G2 doesn't have enough going on, and everybody's got to have a podcast. I like Gary's idea where we're going to start limiting.
Right. The government has
grandfathered in, of course.
Right. The government has to step in and put a kink in it like they're going to do to TikTok. Same thing with singers, these singing programs. We have enough singers. We got to stop it for a while. We're saturated. And I know I've said to you many times, Leslie, I wish I knew more about Kelly Ripa. I can't get all of what I need off the show with her and Ryan. Can she please do something else?
And we're not going to find out enough about her home life when her husband becomes her new co-host. So of course, yes, we need to dive even deeper into that whole thing. So
Yes,
and you got a sneak peek into Steve Harvey's life, right, with that video, which was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
all his
we'll
many
update
jobs.
you as they say. We'll update you as the details become available. Of course you will, and our hearts and prayers go out to you. Ryan sent me this half-hour video of a day in the life of Steve Harvey. And
wait, before you tell the story, you want to finish queuing up the contest?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what is so all that's going in the package? What's the phrase that pays?
I kind of like. I love the fact that you guys are starting to come up with the phrase that pays for us. And this week, I think we're going to go with David Erickson's choice, and that is #Gary Miller.
Okay, that's
Gary Miller could win
that's
you
my
this
alias.
fabulous.
All right, put that in the queue, and then Ellen will hit the button, and the computer will pick the winner in just a couple minutes. #Gary Miller. #Gary Miller.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So as you were saying,
back to your story, Gary.
So yeah, this Steve Harvey thing. I mean, he's getting out of his 50,000 square foot mansion into his luxury car, and then going to his first of 8 jobs of the day. And oh my God, yeah, right.
Life's tough, but
It is.
you know, it's a long day. I'm sure it's comparable to a Pat Sajak's day, where he kind of phones it into his radio program, right? He does like a couple of minutes and lets his underlings pretty much carry the water for him there. And then he can record all those family feuds in 6 days a month or something like that.
Yeah,
so
that's what you do
Lordy.
For the luxury life. And we were talking the other day about when something really bad happens to you, and then it turns out to be the best thing. I just remember Tracy Morgan when he was in that car that was hit by the Walmart truck, and the friend died, and he was hurt. And I heard he got $100 million settlement. And then I saw this article years later on his house in New Jersey, 35,000 square feet. And he's got the luxury cars. And I'm thinking, so getting almost killed was the best thing that ever happened, right? Right?
I mean, I would say that you take the lemons, and he made some fracking awesome lemonade out of it.
Whenever he was interviewed after that, he said, Walmart did right by me.
Yep.
Well, there you
so
go.
You can imagine it has to be around 100 million, because that guy loves Walmart. The guy was the victim of this Walmart truck that almost killed him, did kill his friend.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing,
that's
right?
what I mean. It was sad, but I don't see him having to do like 200 dates a year at bad comedy clubs across the U.S. anymore.
Well, that's what I mean. You're not going to get the 35,000 square foot home doing what he was doing, having a nice living with everything he was doing, but not to this point and this quickly.
No.
Yeah. All right.
Is there a problem with knowing that there are 2 R's in Gary Miller? I mean, get it right, folks. Sorry.
All right. Charles,
2 R's, 2 L's.
Charles, who is in the radio game, knows that we're coming up to the top of the hour, and we've got to be clean as we go to traffic, sports, news, weather, and everything else
Business.
that
You should do business.
get on your phone.
How'd the Dow do today? Let's see.
Yeah. All right. How are things in Kyiv?
And apparently we don't have enough going on. Let's get involved in Syria a little bit more again. So this is why we drink. So
what happened to the victims of the Turkey-Syria earthquake? Are they all rebuilt and everything? We don't hear about them anymore.
No.
We're moving on.
Something happened. I guess there was an aftershock in Turkey this week, because I was listening to NPR, and they started with like, and the bell of the church is ringing in the small town of whatever. But they were talking about an aftershock, and apparently people are a little on edge. And gee, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for a while.
All right. But that's not what you are covering. You have other stories.
By the way, Holly, yes, we did have a Robert update, and he's smoking cigarettes in his kitchen, having a cocktail, and waiting for Mrs. Wright to come around still. In the meantime, the makers of fruit roll-ups have issued a friendly warning in response to a ridiculous rumor circulating online. The popular snack brand uploaded a video to TikTok this week to debunk a series of viral videos from users claiming that people can eat the snack without removing the plastic lining. You know how you have to peel it off? Well, in the fruit roll-ups video, one of those users is shown removing a snack from a freezer, taking a bite with the plastic still clearly visible. Yes, they actually have to post a video to tell adults, this was not a child, that they should not eat plastic.
When I worked at a drugstore, had to tell people when they were given a suppository prescription, my pharmacist would say, now, when you give this to them, tell them they have to take the tinfoil off before they insert it. Seriously, every time.
Ah,
Yep.
Lordy. Yeah, they walk among us. Approximately 100 venomous snakes, a lizard, and a crocodile were removed this week from a home in Pennsylvania after emergency responders were called to the scene to help an unresponsive male. Well, when they arrived, the 23-year-old patient was already dead. But while they were there, police couldn't help but notice the huge collection of pets, including 2 highly venomous black mamba snakes. Animal control stepped in and removed all the dangerous ones. We're talking about 100 snakes and reptiles in all. But they left another 100 or so non-venomous snakes behind.
How do you get to that point after 25, 50? Really?
You know, hey, if you're going to be a hoarder, this might be the time to collect clothes and stuff as opposed to
Right,
animals.
if you're going to pick something to hoard. Alan, I didn't hear the tone.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Management's going to come down on him.
Everything's off now. Alan?
Do we have to do a test of the emergency broadcast system?
We should. Let's do all those elements. Yes. There it is. Alan, what happened there?
No, it's clear and sunny.
Okay. And according to news sources in South Korea, a heartbroken zebra broke out of a zoo in Seoul and wandered the busy capital for hours before it was eventually recaptured. Zoo officials say the zebra, named Sero, S-E-R-O, had been acting erratically ever since the death of his parents. All alone with only, they say, an unfriendly kangaroo for company, Sero made a break for it. After about 3 hours on the lam, Sero was finally taken down by a tranquilizer dart and returned to the zoo. They say efforts are now underway to get Sero a girlfriend to mend his broken heart.
That sounds like he had one. He was on the lam. Hey now.
Wait, that's L-A-M.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, well, do you want more? I mean, I got more, but here we are.
Let's go to the contest.
Let's do it.
That's good.
Save something for tomorrow.
That's right. Or Monday. All right.
Or
Hashtag
Monday.
Gary Miller. Let's hit it and give it away. Give it away. Give it away. You want to say hello to somebody? Oh, Price is Right. That's another good thing to get if you can get it. There you go, Cindy. You win all of that.
Cindy, wasn't it Cindy's niece who
Yes.
won the 70? Look it.
It's running in the
It runs
family.
in the family. Oh,
Wow,
golly.
congratulations. And Ellen, tell her what she should do.
I was going to say, Cindy's a regular. She ought to know by now, right?
All
That
right,
you
well-
email Gary Meyer Show at GaryMeyer.com or text 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. And get Leslie your USPS address so she can load it up and give the post office every nickel she made on tonight's show.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Can I write this off on my taxes?
Yes.
We're going to the accountant this week.
Yes, you
so,
can.
yeah.
All right. That's it for this week. No show next Friday, and we'll see you Monday. Time to give out that cannoli. It's complimentary. Take it. It looks delicious. Right, Alan? There it is. Oh, Papa. All right. And what about the schnauzer?
I would dunk my schnauzer in that big cup of roast order coffee.
Ooh,
Wouldn't that
I
be
like
fun?
that too. Yes. Yes. All right. 3 in the green, gear is down, flaps are down. The voice of the globe. Have a great weekend. we've landed.
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And please, please, please tell your friends and family to like and subscribe too.
YouTube.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel. That's what you should do. That's where we gather. Boom. Shakalaka.